Yeah, so good evening, everybody. So can you hear me? Yes, all right. So yeah, so for a change today, I will not switch on the camera. Instead, let me share the screen. Okay, so I hope you already know, yeah. So I hope you already received the news that many of the important lessons from your syllabus has been removed. So yeah, so I personally do not like that, but anyways, the syllabus is really easy now. So most of the difficult questions has been removed from your syllabus. So if you ask me why I don't like, because when you go for A levels, like if you are going to study maths or bio for A levels, so that will be a huge gap. So currently we already have a huge gap between O level and A levels. So when you with this syllabus, if you go for A levels, it is going to be a more, I mean, the gap is going to be even more. So that is why I'm telling, like, I personally do not like this decision, but still, because of the corona situation and the students cannot go to school and many students have internet problems and everything. So anyways, let's hope for the best. So my advice is, under this syllabus, if you get A for maths, A for science, like depending on that A, do not decide what you do for A levels. So if you really think maths is easy for you, if you really think you are good in maths, if you really think you're good in science, if you have an interest in maths or science, then you can then select the subject. Just because you get an A for maths from this exam, do not decide your A level subject. All right. So having told that, let's go through and see what are the changes done. All right, so the real numbers, the first lesson, there's no much change. So it's just reduced the number of problems discussed. So there's no change in real numbers, and there's no much discussion also. Then when we come to indices and logarithm, so grade 11 logarithm 1 has been already removed. So then in logarithm and indices 2, again logarithm 2 in grade 11 has been removed. So entire logarithm section in grade 11 has been removed. So that means you will only get multiplication and division of decimal numbers using logarithm. So that powers, square root, the third root, so nothing will come for your exam. So you will only get the multiplication and division of logarithms. So the powers of, I mean, the different bases you will get, yes, like like log 5 base 25, that is going to be 2. So likewise, those things you will get, but other than that, you will not get like the square root or the third root. So nothing of these things you will get. Yep. So if you have any questions, you can send on the chat, or you can unmute and ask. So that's it. So grade 11 entire logarithm has been removed. Only grade 10 content will be there. And also the scientific calculator part. So this also removed from the session. Okay. Then surface area and volume. So for both these sections, the surface area and volume. So for both these sections, what happened? You only have the triangular prisms, cones and pyramids, everything removed from your syllabus. So you have only two things, the sphere and the cylinder. That's it. So if you are okay with spheres, finding the surface area of spheres, if you are okay with finding the surface area of cylinders, that's enough. Okay, so for both, it's the same for surface area and volume. So for both the cases, it is the same scenario. Then the binomial expressions entirely removed. So that is in grade 11. Okay, so from grade 11, the binomials has been removed. So that means like the power 3, right? In grade 11, you learned that, like what you call, like if you have x plus, let's say x plus, sorry, it's very difficult to write using the touchpad. Okay, so x plus to the power 3. So if you have something like this, the cubic powers, so these things, you expansion of cubic powers you learned in grade 11. So this thing is entirely removed. So you have only square x plus 2 squared. 2 squared. Square. 2 squared. 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 2 Yes, no, it's an easy lesson. Yes, it is confirmed. So it is sure. Like this is the what you call syllabus given by the Ministry of Education. So this is confirmed. This is sure. So the grade 11 binomial expressions is removed, but grade 10 the binomials will be there. Then algebraic fractions, there's no much change. So it is only the reduction in the number of problems discussed. Then the area of plane figures between parallel lines. So you can remember that we learned, like, if there are two triangles or parallelograms in between two parallel lines, their areas are going to be the same. So this section is entirely removed. So one of the place where they ask this one is after construction. So they ask us to construct several some after construction. They are asking what are the name two triangles or name two parallelograms with similar area. So that part is entirely removed. So you don't, all these theories are not in the syllabus. So the area of the plane figures between parallel lines, this part is entirely removed. Yeah. Okay. So what is this? Will you put questions from these chapters in our paper class? I mean, so far I did put these questions, but in the future I will have to remove, right? Because this is not in your syllabus. They have removed it for 2021 batch. So obviously I will also have to make my papers accordingly. All right. So next one is percentages. So percentages, the tax in grade 10 is there, but the calculation based on reducing balance. So I don't know why they removed this one. This is like one of the most important one. So reducing balance is removed. So you only have the simple percentages, simple tax in what you call in grade 10, and you also have the compound interest. So that will be there, but reducing balance is entirely removed. Is any change in O-level mathematics model for us? I don't think so. So they have not announced any change in the model. So far there's no news about that. So I think there won't be any change in the model. Okay, so share market, another very easy lesson, very important. I mean, one of the easiest lesson. So again, share market is removed from the syllabus. Okay, next one is midpoint theorem. So midpoint theorem, usual, the proving of the riders, and I mean they have specifically mentioned like proving of the riders. So that part is important. So midpoint theorem will be there. Then equations. So simultaneous equations in grade 11 has been removed, but grade 10 content will be there. So we need to discuss only the grade 10 simultaneous equation part. The quadratic equations in grade 10 and 11, everything will be there, but simultaneous equation part in grade 11 will be removed. Okay, so here you can see there is 9, the allocated number of periods is 9. So there is high probability you will, I mean, when you focus on lessons, just focus on the allocated periods. So here they have allocated 9 periods. So that means this lesson is important. Okay, there is high probability in getting an essay type question. Okay, then next one, solving simultaneous equations using graphs in grade 11 has been entirely removed. So I mean, like the drawing of the graph part, again, it will be there as it is. But like there are like, you can draw two graphs and you can solve simultaneous equations by using the graph. So that part is entirely removed. So if you can draw the graph, that's okay. And also the properties, there are like some parts like where you can identify the maximum, the minimum without drawing the graph, right? So that part is entirely removed. So in the graph question, they give a separate, totally different graph, and they ask what is the maximum, what is the minimum, or like different things they ask, and we should answer without drawing the graph. So that part is also removed. So now the only remaining part is you need to draw the graph and ask the relevant questions from the graph. That's it. They could have removed equiangular triangle instead of removing share marker logarithm simultaneous equations. Okay, Nuha, they have, I mean, they are also in the same, I mean, they have also removed equiangular triangles, you will see. Yes, here you see equiangular triangles. Entire section is removed. So the theory is based on equiangular triangles is not there. So you can just cross out the entire lesson. No equiangular triangles. Those ratios and everything will be not there. Equiangular triangle is entirely removed. Then data representation and interpretation. The cumulative frequency graph. This is entirely removed, and also finding the quartiles, the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile. So no more quartiles. You don't have to find any quartiles. This part is entirely removed from the syllabus. So cumulative graph is removed, quartiles is removed. So what is remaining? The histogram is remaining. Then the pie chart is remaining. Yeah, that's the two. So pie chart and the histogram. So definitely you will get one of these two questions. So since we don't have cumulative graph, definitely you will get the pie chart or the histogram. So they have allocated 10 periods. So focus on the remaining parts. Geometric progression. So geometric progression, you can see finding the nth term and finding the sum of n terms in grade 11 has been removed. So that means geometric progression is entirely removed. Only part remaining is identification of a geometric progression. So if you see a progression, if you can identify that this is a geometric progression, that is enough. There's no calculations from geometric progressions, nothing. So you don't have to find the nth term of a geometric progression, the sum of n terms. So nothing will be there. Only the identification of geometric progression, but arithmetic progression will be there. So that means for the exam, definitely you will get the arithmetic progression question. Arithmetic progression question will be there. So sometimes they maybe give another progression, which is geometric progression, and ask you to name the progression. So something like that will be there. So again, you see, out of the two progressions you have in your syllabus, one has been entirely crossed out. Pythagoras theorem will be there, and trigonometry. So trigonometry, you can see they have allocated 10 periods. So this is important, but scale diagrams in grade 10 is removed. So no more scale diagrams, but trigonometry will be there. So the angle of elevation, angle of depression, so all those things will be there. Scale diagrams means like drawing. I mean, you have scale drawing, right? So in grade 10, you have this lesson scale drawing. So that lesson they have removed in grade 10, not in grade 11. The lesson number 32, scale diagrams, that is removed. Okay, then matrices entirely gone. So in first part, in part 1, you definitely have a matrix question in the first 25 questions. So that is entirely, that question will be not there. So matrices, no more matrices. You don't have to learn this such. Then in addition to that, here they have added some grade 10 lessons. So grade 10 lessons are like algebraic inequalities. So inequality in grade 11 has been removed. So in grade 11 we have the fraction, right? So the inequality part in grade 11 has been removed. Instead we are going to do the grade 10 part here. So what will they ask in Pythagoras theorem? Basically the basic stuff, you know, like if you can identify, if you know the theorem, and if you can solve questions by using Pythagoras theorem, that's it. That's enough. Okay, then parallelograms 1, 2 will be there. So discuss here. They have mentioned like we need to discuss all 4 properties of quadrilateral to be a parallelogram. So if a quadrilateral to be a parallelogram, there is going to be different properties, right? So these 4 properties are important. They have specifically mentioned that. So focus on this one. And yeah, then the problems. Okay, so the properties of a parallelogram, of a quadrilateral to become a parallelogram, this is important. They have also allocated 9 periods, so which is important. Okay, so then parallelograms 2 reduce the number of problems discussed in the class and lead the students to solve in proving riders. So parallelogram 2, the proving part is important. Then chords of a circle in grade 10, again, they have specifically mentioned and asked us to follow this one in grade 11. Then cyclic quadrilateral, you can see they have allocated 9 periods. So that means cyclic quadrilateral will be, I mean, there's high probability that you will get cyclic quadrilateral for the exam. So this is very important. Then angles in a circle in grade 11 shall be discussed here. So grade 10. Then solve selected questions. So same thing, like, but still cyclic quadrilateral is important, and there's a high probability that you will get the cyclic quadrilateral question in the exam. There will be a question because most of the geometry parts are removed, right? So you can see tangents is also removed. So tangent, there won't be anything. So tangent is entirely removed. This is, I don't know why they removed tangent, but still it is a very important question. So in construction, now we are sure that there is no tangents. So anyone can do the construction. So construction is going to be really easy. So you don't have to construct tangents in construction. So that is a very, I mean, that's a good thing for, I mean, that will make the exam easier. So tangents has been entirely removed. So same thing applies for construction. So for construction also, you will not get any tangent questions. Then construction. So construction also, so only includes construction of basic for loci in the grade 10. So grade 10 constructions will be there. The construction of triangles, quadrilaterals will be there. And yeah, construction of quadrilaterals, you know, the parallelogram. So that part is removed. Then the construction of circumcircle is there. So, but they have removed in grade 11, we have construction of incircle, we have construction of excircle, both things removed. So that means for the exam, you will definitely get the construction of circumcircle. So because if not, there's nothing to construct, right? So definitely you will get the circumcircle for your exam. Okay, so will they make the paper as tough because little amount of content? So just all these sections, they have, I mean, they have removed the difficult sections. So all these remaining sections are really easy sections. So from these easy sections, they can make the questions difficult, but since they are easy sections, the questions will be easy. Okay, so or most of the difficult parts they have removed. So this tangent is, I mean, for when proving, and it is kind of difficult. So, you know, they have removed. So yes, Romana, I am doing. You can WhatsApp me, okay? So in theory class, can you move to the other subject? Yes, we will have to. Okay, yeah, we will start revision accordingly. All right, so construction. So construction, circumcircle is the important. So in grade 11, only thing you have to construct, only thing that is important is the construction of circumcircle. That's it from grade 11. Then sets. So sets and probability, grade 11, sets has been entirely removed. So that means in grade 11 only you will learn the sets of, I mean, if there are 3 sets, so in grade 11 you learn that. So that means for the sets question, definitely you will get only the questions with 2 sets. So only 2 set question will be there. So you will not get any question with 3 sets. Okay, so the maximum of 2 sets. So any complex question on sets can be avoided. Yes, Fasrin, I have shared this in the group. So if you did not get it, you can message me. Okay, then probability. So probability also same scenario. So in grade 10 content, the probability of grade 10 content will be there, but grade 11 content is removed. So like basically, if you take the grid, so what you have learned is like marking the grid in all the squares. In grade 10, you will mark all the squares, right? Everything will be marked if you have some sets. But in grade 10, you learn the scenario where this middle line is not going to be marked. So that means for the exam, definitely you will get a question that everything has to be marked. All the squares, all the points will be marked. That will be the question. So probability also, grade 11 part has entirely removed. So only the grade 10 part will be there. So you see, like most of the important parts has been removed. So the exam will be really, really easy. So for the remaining parts, focus and study. Yep. So any questions? Yeah, tree diagrams. So tree diagrams will be there, but not complex ones, because in grade 11 only you have a little bit complex tree diagrams, but in the grade 10 you have learned tree diagrams. So tree diagrams will be there from the grade 10 content. Grade 11 probability was very easy for me, so I always chose that. So, yeah, so sad it is removed. So probability and sets, great, it was an interesting lesson, so they have removed it somehow. Okay, so say in probability grade 11 part mean tree diagrams has been removed. No, in grade 10 we have tree diagram, Romana, so that part will be there. In grade 10 you learned the tree diagram, so that part will be there. Yes, definitely for first reading. So for the revision we will have lesson wise revision, right? So we will skip the questions which are removed and we will start the revision of the important parts. As for me, some of the remote sessions are most easiest. Yes, some of the most easiest and also difficult parts has been removed. Please do some more questions of this. Yes, sure. They should remove the proofing questions from the entire syllabus. No, they cannot do that. So geometry questions are there, but now it is obvious what geometry questions are. You will get in the exam. So cyclic quadrilaterals, then you have midpoint theorem. So likewise, you can filter out, and some of like tangents. So this is a proving question. So tangent part is gone. So likewise, some of the important questions are gone. Yeah, so that's the update of the about the syllabus. So if you have any questions you can ask. If not, we can wrap up this session. So the paper class we will have on next week. Next week we will continue with the paper class. So if you have any questions you can stay. If not, we can wrap up the session. Goodbye.